Hey y'all, I'm Conan the Waltz. Welcome back. Say hello to my dragon. 2013 Goldwing. And this is one of my prides and joys. And it's what I glide around on down here when I'm here. Needs a detail right now, but this is going to be the only sunny day this week. So I wanted to make sure I get a video going on for anybody who's watching. Took me 7 years to pay this bike off. And the last 2 years of it was extremely hard because that's when my medical troubles started. Now, I think this is the best looking Goldwing that they came out with because it's really streamlined and sleek, you know? Like the new ones that are out now, they seem to have a lot of points and sharp edges and kind of like a transformer, you know? They got that transformer look to me, you know? And yeah, I think this is the best looking model they've came out with. Now, the reason I call him my dragon is because it's red like a dragon. It's long and sleek like a dragon. And when you ride it, it's kind of like you're gliding, you know, like you're soaring. I mean, any kind of stress you got, just gone in minutes. As soon as you get on there and start going, all the stress just disappears and you forget about it for a little while, you know? But it really is a beautiful thing. And I'm extremely glad I own it. Now, my medical problems, like I said before, I wasn't gonna mention it, but I thought to myself, well, I better say something because maybe, just maybe, there's one, like I'll just give a basic rundown on it while we admire the bike here. I'll give the basic rundown, and maybe there's just one small clue in there. If the same thing happens to somebody else, maybe something that I say or mention might save them as well, you know. But it was a pretty extreme situation. I would say severe. Let me get some shade here. I would say it was a severe situation. That's better. What happened was I was camping. I was 20 miles from the nearest town. And on my own. And this came on me with no warning at all. No obvious warning. And But now that I've learned a few things about the situation, there was subtle little clues, but nothing you would pay any mind to. So I'm camping and I wake up at about 2 in the morning with a severe back pain. I mean, extreme. It's like there was a knife in my back. And I had to go to the restroom. So I got up and the problem was obvious. I was blooping blood out of my private. And not, you know how you hear people say, oh, yeah, I had some urine in my blood and stuff like that? No, this was like I was shot or knifed or something. And I had blood blooping out my private. And I thought, ah, damn. So the first thing I didn't do, I didn't panic. I just, I knew I was out in the middle of nowhere. And I just tried to think it through. I started thinking to myself, well, what could have done this? You know, it was so obvious it was something wrong with my kidneys. And I was thinking to myself, what could have done this? Because I'm not a drinker. The last time I had a social drink was, geez, 30 years ago. So anyway, I laid back down. The first thing I did, which I think was a good idea, was I laid on my belly so that there was no weight or pressure on my kidneys. So my kidneys would be sitting above everything else. And I just lay there trying to think of what I could do. And then about 20 minutes, 25 minutes after that, I had to go again. And it wasn't urine, it was blood. Bloop, bloop. And even when I talk about it now, it still kind of rattles me a bit. Because the blooping was matching my heartbeat. So I thought, oh Lord. And that's how the whole night, rest of the night went. Every 30 minutes or so, I had to get up and go. And lost my train of thought of what I was going to say about the whole situation. But oh yeah, and all the next day. So I was there the rest of that night, the whole next day, and the rest of the following night. And I didn't eat because I didn't want my kidneys doing any work. And I think very importantly, I didn't drink. I drank water, but not a lot of water. I just kept enough. I just drank enough just to try and so that there wouldn't be any pressure on the kidneys. And just to try and give them time to try and do something. So by the following, not the next day, but the following morning after that, I was starting to notice a slight, very slight clearing in my urine. And that gave me some hope. And that morning. So 2 mornings later, after just sipping on water, no food, I decided to get in my pickup. I was in my dually. And that's where I was laying, by the way. I opened the back door because it's a dual cab. And I just lay across the back seat with my feet hanging out the door. And so I wouldn't have to strain when I was getting up or laying down. So anyway, there was a very, very slight clearing in the urine. And that gave me hope, and then I started researching. And the strangest thing is I think usually isolation will finish you because you're on your own, and there's nobody there to help you unless you call emergency and they send an ambulance out an hour away. And but the funny thing is, after I started researching, about a week later, I realized that the isolation had actually saved my life. And doing what I did and not panicking was so important because about a week later I found out that the contrasting fluid that they give you at the hospital when they do a scan, CAT scan or MRI, they give you contrasting fluid. That's pretty hard on your kidneys. And I think that would have been the end. I think I would have been over with right there at the hospital. And it wouldn't have been their fault because it would have been a mechanical thing to do where that's the normal thing to do. Oh my gosh, all this blood. We need scans right away. So that's what they would have done. And that's what would have done me in. So that's the basic rundown. Ever since then, it's been uphill all the way. Plus, when you go to the doctors or the hospital, and you tell them there's blood in your urine, they don't really get how bad it was. I don't think it's that they don't believe you. I think it's just, I think if you told them it was a blooping out, like bloops, no exaggeration, I think they would just say, well, you wouldn't be here. If it was that bad, you would just not be here. So, this happened about, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago. It's been uphill ever since. And so what I did was, instead of really intrusive stuff, I did the stuff like that wasn't intrusive. I got an ultrasound and I got little clues here and there that went together with my research. And I figured out a way. I'm still in the dark a lot of ways. It's in a lot of ways, I'm still just hoping for the best. But the few clues that I got went with my research, and the ultrasound showed me that there was cysts on my now I have cysts on my kidneys, showing on the outside on my kidneys and on my liver. So, and then I found out that that is a sign, that is what your body did to try to repair. So, my body saved me, and maybe some of the actions I took to give the kidneys a chance to try to seal off sections, I think that's what happened. I think my kidneys just sealed off different sections and formed these cysts. But now I'm down to about maybe 50 or 60% of my kidney function. So I have to be careful everything I do. And that's pretty much the deal with that. That's all the main points that I think might help somebody else if they find themselves in the situation. The main thing is to know that contrasting fluid is very hard on your kidneys. And so is a lot of medication, like pain medication. I didn't take any pain medication, even aspirin. I think they call them NSAIDs, I think. So you got to be very careful of what you do. So if anybody finds himself in the same situation, I wish you all the luck in the world. But I'm very happy I'm still in the world. And my projects, I've used my projects to help me to because you have to maintain. I mean, my legs were so heavy. They felt like, remember the movie The Terminator 2 where the T-2000 gets his legs frozen and they bust it off? You probably all remember that scene. But that's what my legs would feel like a lot of days. They would feel so heavy, like I had anchors attached to them. But I forced myself. Oh, that's another good point I just remembered. Another problem I found out that I had was my adrenaline and my cortisol was completely out of control. It was just raging. And that's why I was sheet white like a ghost. I recently got my color back. I was sheet white like a ghost, and I lost a lot of weight because I found out that the cortisol was eating my body away, because that's what cortisol does when it's out of control. And so that's an excellent point to remember. So I had to avoid stress at all costs, stay very calm no matter what the situation, and then force myself to keep moving. I mean, it would have been so easy just to sit down and the advice was take it easy, sit down, and go like that. But I think that would have finished me too, because my research told me that I had to get some kind of exercise, especially for my legs. And so I had to keep moving. So some kind of exercise every day, walking, something. So I kept forcing myself. It's a touch better now, I would say, but uh, yeah, I had to force myself to keep moving, to let my body know, to show my body, so my body would tell my brain that it's not over. And that's how my project helped me. I had a lot to do on my projects, and I used my projects to help get me, well, to help me maintain. I can't say that I'm better. I've found out that there's no cure for kidney damage. Once the damage is done, it's done. But you can try to maintain. All you can do is try to maintain what you've got. And that's the name of the game now, is maintenance. So, maintaining. But, yeah, I've got a passion for my projects, and my passion helped save my life, I believe. And I think if I'd have sat down and watched television, I'd be gone also. So, all right, guys, that's the episode for this week. Hope it wasn't depressing or anything. But like I said, I just thought I should say something just in case somebody runs into the same damn thing. So, next week's episode, I'll give you a tour of the inside of the G88 Thunder Truck 1. Because I've got it set up so if I want to bunk here for the night, like it's about an hour, I live about an hour from here. So if I want to bunk here for the night, or I'm just tired or run down or feeling weak or whatever, I can bunk in the truck. And I've got it really nicely set up. I know it's very small. It is small, but I've got it very cozy. And I show you guys next week on next week's episode. And just wondering if I got anything else to say. No, that's it. Thank you so much. Have a good day, and adios, come drogos.